And welcome to episode 210 of the DayZ Podcast. How are we all doing? Cobra, how you doing, mate?
I've got my hot lemon, mate. Other than that, I'm all right.
Oh, he's soldiering on like a good British man. Soldier on with the hot lemon drink. I fucking hate them. I hate them.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. But if it makes you better, you got to do what you got to do. No Alex yet. Haven't heard from him. So hoping that Belle Delphine hasn't called into an emergency ride outside her house or something. Just jokes. But we are joined by the one and only RavPlays back again. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, mate, my pleasure. I was quite excited when Cobra said you were interested in coming back on, mate, because it's great to hear from people we've had on in the past, particularly with, especially now with the new update and that, to get a fresh set of eyes on where you think DayZ's going, creating content in this genre. And, mate, you've been around a bloody long time and you've done a bit of everything too, haven't you?
Too long, some would say, but yeah, been playing DayZ since, well, it's got to be at least 10 years now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Since I was young.
Yep.
From the mod days.
A wee little whippersnapper, knee high to a grasshopper.
Literally, I was about 12.
12, love it. Love it.
So what's your thoughts been so far on Sakhal? I know we've talked a lot about it, but it's such a big fucking update compared to anything we've had in the past before, isn't it, Rav?
Yeah, I played a lot of it during the playtest, like loads, maybe the most out of anyone. I was playing, like the first day it came out, I played for 24 hours straight. I was like, I've got to get into this.
Yeah, I heard a rumor. Did you fence off the peninsula?
Yeah, we did to some degree. You can still walk around it because you can't build in the water. But
that's still good. That is gold, mate. Hey, tell us about that. How did that go?
We were just bored, we'd sort of done everything, and we kept dying on the peninsula. And it was just annoying me. I had a landmine. Whoever was placing landmines across the official playtest, by the way, like that's horrible. Don't know why you'd ever do that. But I was like, we've got all this nails. It's sort of I think it's like a week into the playtest, so they're about to release it to more people, I think. So we're like, there's gonna be another surge of people. It'd be funny if we just built a wall. And we got a few like decent reactions. There's this one French streamer who was just a bit upset. And then we got a massive fight down there. If you spoke to, I think in Exclusion's video, he's got the entire clip of the massive fight we had down there.
Yeah.
Because you get loads of PvP there, don't you? It's amazing, really.
What do you think of the design of the map? Because you are quite into that style of gameplay and that, with that narrow choke point peninsula that leads down to all the high tier military. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's very good for like action, but
Yep.
I don't know, like if you're not into PvP, then you're kind of stuck because you're never going to get the best loot. Although I suppose you can always take the boats to the Southern Islands, which I never did too much of because I don't really see the point. But like that, I don't like the eastern side of the map. There's no reason to go there, in my opinion.
I'm not a massive PvP, mate, but I still like it because it's such a heightened threat to on a high pop server to take the risk to, if you don't have a boat or you're not prepared to swim, get yourself that buff and swim and try to get across safely. It's an amazing choke point of, there's a good chance there's going to be someone camping around there, either trying to kill the people going in, or waiting for the people who've gone and maybe done the bunker or something like that and getting them on the way out. I think it's, again, something very different. You look at a map like Chernoris, there really is no choke points. Probably the closest thing we've got to a choke point is Prison Island. That little spit that leads out to that. But other than that, there's really nothing. You can approach nearly every location from any direction.
That's the thing. It adds like a progression to the map, like predictable progression. You know what's going to happen on Sakhal, whereas on Chernoris and Livonia, it's way more random. But on Sakhal, you're going to get into PvP at the island eventually. Like you loot up, you survive the cold first, and you loot up, and you go to the island and get PvP. Whereas Chernoris, you could be walking around for 8 hours and not seeing it.
Yeah. Especially on official servers, isn't it? It's a bloody nightmare. I mean, I had the same experience, mate. I was on the early play test too, and all of the action I had, bar the freshie, the Barkle on the coast, all of the other action is always on that bridge or nearby. Either quite a bit down at that Italy on the actual boot. Yeah, it's good fun though, mate. Have you got bored of it yet?
A little bit, yeah. I've swapped back to generous now.
Do you know what? I did that today.
What's the reason, guys? Why have you gotten a bit bored with it?
You go.
The gameplay loop's just a bit too quick, isn't it? Like not quick. It is fun and enjoyable, but the gameplay loop is. I think it's just too much. I played too much of it in the first few weeks, and now you've got to take a break. But I'll definitely be back.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same.
I haven't really seen what like community servers have done with it yet. That's something I need to get into. I just played the official version.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've spent a little bit of time on some of these community servers that have got the map now as well. And it's interesting, some of the edits starting to form. But I'm not bored with Sakhal. I'm just, I'm the same as Rav. When you've played it, I think I played for like 6 days straight. And I was like, right, I know where I'm going. I know what all of these areas are now. And once you've hit any of the islands, as you know, there's nothing on them. It's kind of redundant, those islands at the moment. So if you want any kind of action, if you're streaming, then there's only really a few places that, you're going to get it. The volcano, the land bridge, Italy, the bunker, innit? That's where you're going to get it. So, for me, I think it'd be nice when an update comes out and hopefully there's some more populated bits and pieces, some other... Oh, this gas cloud. Rav, did you find the gas cloud on there?
No. I haven't heard about gas cloud.
There's a little myth. There's a little myth about this. So there was some on I Survive. It had it on top of the volcano as one of the points of potential where the NBC stuff would be used. So a little bit of a spoiler there, but there was some other.
That turned out to just be hot vents.
Yeah,
all that is. Yeah.
But we had someone come in on last week's show that said, no, I have been. I don't know whether they're full of shit or not, but they've said, no, I have found a toxic cloud. But they, of course,
they had a theory. They had a theory, and they were gathering the gear to test it. So again, not sure, but I think that was just about that. The steam coming out of the volcano, but it still does bemuse me, Rav, as to why there is custom NBC gear for Sakhal. You've got the white NBC gear, and
I'm assuming then it will be how they added the bunker to Livonia. I don't know how many years after, but eventually it probably add something. Because like you said, there is custom gear. And there is a lot of space to expand, especially on the islands.
Yeah,
that big one in the bottom left, which I don't know if you've flown over it, but it kind of looks like there's like a flat patch of land which could be an airstrip. I think there was one there originally,
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's something I wanted to ask both of you about. What interesting modded servers have you come across that have taken advantage of what Sakhal offers compared to Chernerus and Livonia?
Do you want to go first there, Rav, or have you not been on any?
I haven't played on any, no.
Okay, so I've been on a couple. Now, in terms of... I'm just going to get up the server I was on earlier today, actually. Bear with me a second. There's even Battle Royale bloody Sakhal maps out right now. So you've got Skyfall. I had a little look at that. There was Loaded. So JLK's got a Sakhal server going. Zero Av, Day One Av. I had a little play with those. Now, you know what you're going to get from Zero servers or Day One servers. You know exactly what that's about, just the pure adventure type stuff. So I kind of stayed away from that a little bit because we know what's going to happen on that. But I've started to see a couple of little edits on the close. I don't even know what the island's called. On the east coast, where all the ice sheets are by the industrial harbour. If you go across the ice sheets, there's the bigger one of the three. Before the three at the north, there's one to the right on the east side that separates into like 2 or 3. It's quite big. There's nothing on it. I did see an attempt at a bit of an edit on that. So I think that's going to be over the next coming weeks and months, really. Probably by Christmas, there'll be a server out that's got a full edit somewhere. But they do. I can see an update coming out, though, January, maybe February, where there's something on an island somewhere.
Well, how long did it take them to add the bunker to Livonia?
Oh, long time, mate.
what was it? Sure that was a few years.
Was it 3 years? Was it
Maybe.
3? It might have been 3, wasn't it? I don't know.
Livonia came out a lot longer than you think.
Was it 16? Oh no, hold on, no, it wasn't. Was it 16, 17?
That might have been DayZ that came out in 2016.
I don't know. It
2019. 2019.
2019. There you go.
2019. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I thought it was. I've been out a little while. I didn't think it'd been over like 6-7 years. So yeah,
5 years.
Yeah,
still quite a while.
Yeah, and the bunker went in what, a year ago, year and a half ago, 2 years ago? Can't remember now.
1.19. So
yeah, there you go.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it takes a lot to edit an island, does it? Not those islands. They're not massive. So, but what would they add? This is the thing. If you've got the bunker down on a military island, I mean, what other than a toxic zone, a few buildings, maybe an airfield, another military. I'm not sure. What do you reckon, Boydie? What could you add on that?
On the big military island or the smaller?
No, the smaller islands. Mate, yeah.
POIs of some sort. Something like it would have been good if something like the bunker had been out there. Not just did you have to get a glow plug and the fuel, but you also had to get a boat together and risk the journey out there to make it even more. But yeah, it's something that I've always felt that DayZ has never done quite so well as, say, like a Rust or something. POIs with a reason to go there, because the only thing most of them are is high tier military loot, but rarely specific military loot. You've got the dynamic events, which is where you can get some of select. They're getting a bit better at it. Some of the select high tier weapons, and a good chance of getting an M79 off of one of the train crash sites as well. But for the most part, you can find the same things all over the place. I still remember, Rav, back in the day when there was that one barn where you could go and you could find a VSS and that convoy up. Yeah. But it was something that when you were near that barn, you were like, oh geez, I wonder if it's going to be there. I wonder if someone's going to be camping if I go there. There were these certain little locations. Like, remember back in the day when you went to I almost said Banov, Belota, and you'd go to Belota if you wanted the pistol, because they were bloody everywhere in that town. If you wanted the sniper, you went to Scalisti Island. Because it was a good chance of getting yourself a Tundra or something like that. So these certain locations had certain types of gear associated with them, and there's not a lot of that other than the usuals, hospitals and police stations and that. But these were actual physical locations on the map where there was a high chance of finding a certain specific item. And I feel that's kind of lacking a bit. What are your thoughts on that, Rav?
They should do something like that, like a weapon that you can only get from one location. Like maybe like a one tap sniper would be insane. But in the mod, the AS50 was they have it on the mouse, I guess, where you get the Gauss rifle, I think it is. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a sniper. But if there was like this one location where you could only get this one item, and that's your end goal. Let's say the bottom island on Sakhal, and like you said, you'd have to get a boat to go over there. Whatever else you'd need, maybe a key. You could definitely do more with.
I mean, I was thinking about this. A couple of days ago, and I was thinking, even something like doing John McClane did on Dear Roll. You've got the top right, the sub, you've got all that kind of stuff, but then bottom left, you've got the temple. I mean, I think there's something on that bottom left island would be very interesting. I think, don't forget, if you've decided to be a little bit adventurous and base up on one of those islands. I tried that. Then if you do lose your boat, you're in deep shit. You can't get there or back without dying unless you've got a boat. So again, it's just another interesting take on the situation. I do think that that there will be. I can't see them releasing that map and having all those islands empty for long. I really can't. I just don't. I think that's just a waste. So there's got to be something. Don't you agree, Rav? What do you reckon?
Well, you wouldn't have bothered making the island if you weren't going to pay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a couple of updates still in the pipeline.
Well, didn't they hint at that was something they said recently? That there's going to be more updates to the map, and
someone said something like I know exactly what you're on about, but I can't remember what they said. It was something about not being finished yet or something.
Oh, they did. They released that in the first week, didn't they?
Yeah.
But whether or not it was the islands, I'm pretty certain it would be, because everything else is pretty much done. The main volcano, all that kind of stuff is all done. So, yeah, interesting. I doubt they'll add 50 cows to officials just yet, Dorquin.
No. The grenade launchers are just as OP.
Yeah.
Eat those things.
They're a bit reluctant to add an OP weapon like that. Is the feeling I get.
I just want base building, mate. Give us some better official base building.
Yes.
That's it.
Rav, what do you think about that?
They can. It's been long overdue. I think I made a tweet not too long ago about a very minor change, which would add a lot. It's I don't know if you've seen it, but when you build a watchtower, there's a hole for where the staircase.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, you said just instead of being forced to build the stairwell, let us build a flat so we can make a roof.
Then you could have like a hut. Or, people are creative. They could do a lot with just that.
Yeah. Agreed,
They
mate.
should have like little doors and window barricades. Like that should be in the game already, really. Because I don't think on official you can't really wall off like every building, because you have to access the lock from one side. Some of the doors you just can't.
Pain. It's like those. This is my only criticism of the. I know people would rather the digital code locks come to official, but in terms of any of the dials, you're right. It's so restrictive. You have to place, if you're in a building, pretty much you're going to have to put it at an angle, because if you put it anywhere else, you ain't getting it from inside or outside, are you? So it's just like, it's just so, it's just so overdue. A little bit of a touch up there. I think if they do that, it massively extends the life of the game, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Most
people are for base building. I don't think there's many people against it.
But on official, hardly anyone bloody base builds anymore because of these issues. So, that's why they go to the community.
Too many cheaters as well, maybe. That's my biggest. I tried to play official and had to give up because there was too many cheaters.
Speaking of Watch, though, Rav, speaking of which, have you come across any cheaters on Sakhal yet?
No.
Me neither.
Probably don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, they don't want to pay $20. But but they'll pay the 50, whatever it is, or 60 or 70, 80, whatever it is a month for fucking cheats.
Yeah,
fucking hell. Yeah.
And what Foxy just said there in chat as well, building bases on official, unless you are like a hacker, it's basically it's stupid to do so, because it's so easy to raid on official, and it's not an attractive prospect.
Well, I mean, for melee weapons, it's a pain in the ass, but all you need is nades and a bloody M79. Really, any of them would do, wouldn't you? Or even shooting with an M4. I mean, I think, I mean, what else could that, other than improve the actual hit damage ratio? I'm thinking of like a barricade being added, which means that you'd have to double the amount of nades. Like you'd need like 20 nades per barricade or something. I mean, that would probably make a bit of a difference, but I don't know, mate. There's quite a bit in these to change on that base build official stuff, I think. But I still love it. I still love it. Yeah, agreed. Well, let's hope they do it this year, don't they? Well, next year.
How many years do you reckon DayZ has left in it?
Oh, mate, it's just.
That's a great question.
Well, it just hit the highest player count ever, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Boydie? Bought a few years.
It's still got many years, and then they'll eventually. I'm certain of it. Again, this is not coming from any insider, anything leaks or anything like that. But if they didn't do a DayZ 2, they would be batshit insane.
Makes sense from a business perspective. Doesn't it?
It's their cash cow game, from what I can see. Reforger is great, but it is a military sim. Something like DayZ, just even though the Walking Dead sort of era is a bit over, people still love this genre. This apocalypse survival, zombies, and all the rest of it. Don't worry, Alex. We're going to deduct your pay, mate. Cobra and I have already worked that out. He just said in chat there that he can't be here. But yeah, there's so many aspects of the game. Just it depends how full on they want to go. I said I was chatting yesterday with a couple of guys when I was playing. I said, how cool would it be if you kill a fox, then you use the hunting knife to skin it, and then you get a butchered carcass, and then you've got a butcher, or so you get a carcass, then you've got to butcher that carcass just to add a little bit more depth to it. You could choose to pick up the whole carcass, or you could take the time to spend a bit more time to actually butcher it. So you get a bit more meat, but at risk of staying in that position longer. Imagine having to butcher a cow, how long that would take. It's not just a case of 20 seconds. You might be able to rip off a leg joint and that's about it, but you're going to leave a great big cow carcass behind and things like that. So, they do that on modded
servers, don't they?
There's so many other areas they could flesh it out, Cobra.
I think, I think for me, it's quite obvious that the game will continue to be developed. I think it will be anyway. I just think that it's look, take Armour, for example, Armour Reforger, right? So I was playing that 2 days ago. I thought I'd go do a little bit of a live on that. And you know what? It's just nowhere near as fast. It's too clanky. If you line that up with DayZ is just so much better. Any of the PvP scenarios, Christ, I was still sitting there on a tank the other day on Reforger, the tank gun, whatever the bloody hell it is. I can't remember what it was called now. And it feels like, compared to DayZ, that's like 5 years behind in those type of mechanics.
It's just really a more advanced version of a Call of Duty, to some extent, in that you've got respawn systems. You spawn back at the flag, a bit more Battlefield-ish.
Yeah.
You don't just spawn anywhere on the map. You spawn back at a capture point or a flag, or squad's got the radio system where you deploy a radio, and you can deploy off of that and things like that. But it doesn't have that. Not that all servers, there are some servers that allow sleeping bags and things like that, and each to their own. But DayZ's big advantage over pretty much everything else has always been that permadeath system, Rav.
Right. Yeah. I've never actually played Reforger, so I can't compare. But someone told me not to bother.
Mate, it's pretty. It's a damn sexy game, isn't it, Cobra?
I mean, the graphics are good. If you look at the characters, Rav, if you was to look at a character from Reforger and a character from DayZ, you'd take DayZ. I mean, fully kitted. I mean, with any kit on, you would take DayZ over Armour straight off. If you're looking at how quick it is to ready your weapon and scope in and take a shot, you're going to take DayZ, in my opinion.
Right.
Well, a long way over that. I mean, it all depends, if the strategy type of game, I suppose the little bits you can build, your little bloody depots and all that kind of stuff, if that, and they're just so simple as that, you get a spade and you place it and then you dig it and it's done. It's not like DayZ where if you want to build like a little gate, it's going to take you about 5 minutes, maybe 10, go and get the wood, go and plank them up, put the bloody wire on, get the pliers, what I mean? It's just, maybe it's just me, but DayZ for me is still the best game out there. It really is in this type of genre. So, tactical maneuvering, Arm's all right. Arm's good. The buddy system, the voice systems are good. But nah, you want an adventure. That's
like Alex is saying there in chat. It's great for the tactics side of it, and if you're into that. But I played it. And I played, a squad. I played a little bit of Armour, but it just felt kind of cringe to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I want to do that sort of thing, I'll go play laser tag, or I'll go play paintball. Sadly, I live in Australia, so I can't do airsoft, if you can believe that. But yeah,
that's because you're banned, mate. Probably.
Mentally unstable.
You gotta put your hand up when you get shot, mate. Like.
No. I see where you were coming from, Brad, but Cable was implying that I was probably banned by the police from owning firearms.
Oh.
That's exactly where I was coming from.
I knew.
Too unstable for that shit.
I knew straight away. But yeah, I actually handed back my license because I do have PTSD. So I'm not a responsible person to own firearms.
That makes two of us, mate. Yeah. No, on the PTSD front, you can't be trusted carrying shit like that, even with a license, mate. With PTSD, you take them straight off you over here. So,
boy, you rock up to airsoft with a KAM and a jug vest. What was I I just had something. I was gonna say. Crikey. And it was I was going to direct it to you, Rav, because I wanted to in chat they were just talking about there's another community DLC announced for Armor. When are we going to see one for DayZ, Rav? I don't understand how there has never been made one made. And someone just said, maybe if expansion had done better, there might have been one.
What do you mean by community DLC?
Okay, so with Armor, there are the biggest one that most people are probably aware of is the Operation Prairie Fire one. Have you heard of that one, Rev?
I haven't played Armor in years.
Okay, so it was one where they actually liaised with Scalespeeder will fix me up, but they liaised with Vietnam veterans to create this really immersive, realistic Vietnam era community DLC, which was a custom map, custom weapons, everything like that.
I think I saw people playing it.
Yeah, and it was done by the community under license through Bohemia and sold as an official community DLC. So BI were making money, and the developers of the map and the mod were making money as well. We've never seen that with DayZ, and I don't understand why. When we've got so many amazingly talented people, is it just that no one's tried? Is it just that someone's tried and they won't do it? I've never understood how we haven't seen, because some of the community maps we've got are amazing, aren't they, Rav?
So yeah, very good. I had there was something happening with Deer Isle the other week. Is that back online?
Yep, it is back online. Yep,
that's probably
all been sorted.
One of the best. Apart from the Mouse, it's probably up there as one of the best community maps. The
Mouse has got a bit of an inside edge, though. Let's be fair.
Yeah, and it's been around for a long time. And the Essica one, that one's quite good.
Yeah, Essica for me, though. Yeah, I mean, if they'd have carried on, that'd have been all right. If they'd have actually properly finished it.
I loved that zoo. That zoo was awesome.
Zoo's good. I love the actual bridge that goes over near the zoo, over to the airfield. I mean, that there is like heaven.
Must be a lot of effort. That's why they abandoned it. But then, like you said, if there was financial incentive, then people would put the effort in. Like if there was a DLC.
Yeah.
If they do it for Armor, they must have considered it at least.
I think it comes down to cash, doesn't it, on the dev team and money, how many people we can full time get working on. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to, doesn't it?
What Michael just wrote as well is something I've always wondered why they haven't done. Maybe they're just worried that they're going to be having to pay gazillions again so people can run off and climb Everest and buy Lamborghinis. But I don't understand why they don't have a project like that where they can buy mods off modders and put them in the game. Buy a map off someone and then do the final spit and polish to bring it up to BI standards, which is floating trees and getting Mike Doherty to misplace loot all over the map. But I'm sorry, Mike, I have to. It's in my contract with Bohemia that I have to bag you out every week now that you're an employee. I don't know why, but they just wanted me to torment you for the rest of your life. But yeah, it's kind of a running thing here, Rav. I make fun of Mike Doherty every week. Have you seen
That's the point that they're hiring a lot of talent from the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that is to be applauded.
Maybe that's a better approach to them than sort of just paying them commission. You can just get them on the team, and then they've got the talent they need for other titles, I guess.
Yeah, give them a salary. They can do everything then. They can do the base building. They can do the whole lot. Job done.
I mean, I was absolutely stoked when they hired Windstride to do the clothing. That was so exciting for me.
It's good. It's nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I would love to see a proper community DLC. Everyone knows I'm all about #AdoptAModder, but it's just it boggles my mind that we haven't seen an official. Maybe it's because of the console side of things. Maybe that's a technical blocker for them at the moment until they get this new system set up. Because again, I don't understand it. Someone smarter than me will probably know, but it's just something that's always left me scratching my head. And yeah, I would have loved to have seen them, try to take some of the best and implement those mods into the vanilla version of the game, because there are some good ones, but I also know that they really do want to keep it as bare as possible to an extent, so that modders, it's always been their model, Rav. Build a base game and let the modding community flesh it out to whatever they want it to be.
Well, that's where DayZ came from, isn't it? So.
It was a mod.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no. So what else have you been doing lately, Rav? I see you've almost about to click over to 100K, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully by the end of the year. That's the goal at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Started doing a lot more shorts and TikToks, and that's doing.
How's that working for you?
Insane, mate. Insane. So I used to do about 200,000 views a month, and combined this month, where I've done it so TikToks and shorts as much as I can, done 4 million. So,
oh wow,
most of them are shorts views, but they do numbers for getting people to see your stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you get much of a flow over from the short form content to your long form content?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't. You can actually see. I think it's about 50% of people watch both. So it's definitely worth it.
Higher numbers, mate.
If you get someone watching shorts, your shorts, I think that's gonna put your long form content in their impressions at the very least. But it's definitely worth doing if you want to grow fast. It's probably the quickest way, because like one short, I think I have to see if I can get the numbers up. One single short on YouTube got me about 700 subscribers just from one short, which is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how often are you putting them up at the moment, Rav? Are you doing one a day for 30-day trick, or are you doing, for as long as you can?
So what I do is, the plan was to do one a day on TikTok. I don't do it every day, but I try to do it one a day on TikTok. And then the best ones, it was every 3 days on YouTube. I'm going to take that down to 2 because I've got like a long backlog now. I take the best from TikTok and then I put them onto the YouTube.
Are you doing these on your phone, or are you doing these via your PC?
Via my PC. You used to have to send it to your phone to upload it, but there was an update. You don't have to do that anymore.
Alex there in chat, he had a short hit 600K and he got 1.7K subs from it.
It's insane. It's insane. 600K on a short is insane.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolute craziness. Yeah. Well, that's where it's at. That's where the action's at right now. And they've just changed the short time as well. They're 3 minutes now as well on YouTube. They're going to be pumping out.
I think so. I tried to upload one that was 62 seconds the other day, and it wasn't going into short.
It didn't have it.
But then I did read that it came out.
Going back to the Sakhal creator event, Rav, how did you find the 2 weeks of exclusive access?
I really enjoyed it. I was playing with Exclusion mainly, and Glaz, if you know him. And then there was someone else. I'm trying to think. I literally can't think. But no, there was about 4 of us, and we had like a blast, like literally a blast. I probably wasn't interacting as much as I should have been with other streamers. Me and Exclusion were focusing on doing our own thing. But I had honestly one of the best times I've had in DayZ in a long time, and I guess I like quite hardcore DayZ. It's nice when everyone's forced to play this very hardcore. Like I died a lot on the first day just to stuff that probably shouldn't be dying to DayZ now.
Yeah,
but it's nice. It's nice new take.
Well, the thing is, when they changed the cold, when they changed the medical scenario, with a new map as well, it's going to take a bit of time. I was streaming. I got quite comfortable with Sakhal, and then I streamed it about 2 days ago, and I died about 5 times, and I was like, "What is going on here?" But that's great though, because you don't want a game that's so easy. You're on end game loot in 2 hours. You don't want that. No one wants that. What's the point?
Then once you've mastered Sakhal, I think it's too easy. Like, if you know what you're doing, you can get up very quickly.
Well, okay, I'm going to ask you, because we've all chimed in on it. You're more of a PvPer, but hearing you say that, I'm still seeing people say that the cold is too OP The constant need to stop and start fires to get warm is frustrating. What do you think of it as a person not connected with the show and no biases from us in any way? What's your thoughts on it?
I like it personally, but I know I can see, especially maybe more casual players, you probably don't want to stop every like 45 to an hour to make a fire, do you? Like, you probably just can't be bothered. But you do, if you don't want to get like the cold and pneumonia, like you literally have to stop and make a fire every so often. But
Well, I mean,
I quite like it.
What I started to do, Rav, was I did the old bloody torch, fired torch. So if I was running around with that, I literally
You're
wasn't
fine.
dropping. Yeah, I wasn't dropping
fine,
anything.
yeah.
If you put 6 rags on it, it lasts you a little while, and then you've got
Add
the
some
additional
fuel,
time.
bit of fat.
Yeah. I mean, then you've got the additional time before you do start to get cold anyway. So that's another 10 minutes, So you can easily get around a good 30 minutes to 45 without needing to get a fireplace going if you do all those things.
I think he just adjusted his mic then.
Yeah, I was leaning back on my chair. Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Getting too comfy.
I honestly I don't agree that it's an issue. I think it's a novel mechanic. I've seen, I've had discussions with people as well. They want the frost resistance that you get on oh god, I'm still on my first cup of coffee.
Mask.
On the mask. So I just don't know. There'll be community servers where they'll turn the cold off and you can run around and do your thing. But I've had this conversation many times on the show and many times with people offline. I'm really happy they chose a more hardcore style, even though, as Rav said, once you work out the basics, it's not really that hardcore per se. There's a few simple things. You can't afford to push the envelope like you could on Chernarus and things like that. Chernarus, you died, let's say Vibor, and you spawn back into the coast. You could afford to quickly find a well, drink up, and then just run through the forest and hopefully find some mushrooms and maybe some food in a couple of houses along the way. And there's a pretty good chance you're going to make it alive and with still a fair bit of health by the time you get to Vibor. You die on Sakhal with the vanilla cold settings and food and that. No, you can't just run back down to, say, the military island. You're going to be dead before you get to the next town, most likely. So, yeah, it's a bit more of a slower pace, but it's not that difficult if you just slow it down a bit and do a little bit of preparation before you leave that first town you find, and then you should be fine.
Well, it all depends. It all depends, doesn't it? If you're on a full pop server, that first town you're in is going to be looted already. So, which was the story of the early release. A few of them were struggling, weren't they?
Yeah, but that was I think a lot because they were just relying on the normal things. You're spawning in with a knife. You can still go craft a fishing rod relatively easy.
Well, you can craft a hook now.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. I don't know why they added those. That's ridiculous. That's the most OP item they ever added.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people just they don't. I think it's more they don't want to do that. They want their style, and it's even if that town's been looted, you're still going to find some clothing because not everyone's going to pick up tracksuit pants and t-shirts. So you can, and if it is a high pop server, there's going to be stones everywhere, so you can make stone knives.
Well, the fact is, all you got to do is go fishing. That's it. I mean, the only difference was on before the 1.26 update. You could eating a fish fillet that you cooked would give you 2 to 3 arrows up straight away, right? On food and water, all right. Food would be free, and water would be at least 2, sometimes 3. Right now on this new update, I've seen a fluctuation. So I'm not sure if they've pushed out a little something there, but on the early release it was 1 arrow and then sometimes none at all, and then over the last week or so I've seen 1 to 2 arrows on the water going up and then straight away dropping. So they've made it definitely a little bit harder. You have to find the wells quite quickly, but as you know, I was relying on cooking pots most of the time I was playing the early access. So
I think that's just a skill issue for King Alex there, Cobra. Get good, bro.
Robo video that even though you can make wooden hooks, only give you 35%.
No, the one before that on the screen.
Which one? Hold on. The loop progression was just so wacky. In the test event, I had a plate carrier. Giddy Sue couldn't find anything better than Esker. That's because he got shot in the face when me and him were doing it. That's why I didn't find anything else. He got bloody sniped, mate.
And yep, you've got the scale speeder videos out there. I saw Always Streams did one with 20 ways to stay warm, and there's a number of ways to do it, isn't there, Rav? That you can, the fireman's uniform is OP again.
Yeah, this best item. It's best clothing in the game. Well, it's heavy. That's the only downside. But,
yeah,
and it's got yellow strips on.
Well, really I'll tell you what. What's all right? Here's a question for you, Rav. Right, what is the worst part? What's the worst part for you about Sakhal? I've got my particular one. Yeah, what was the worst? Part? Or you can use that a caveat as it came out the same day, the 126. What was the worst change or the worst part that you've seen so far?
That's a good question. I don't. You know, I think the Predator meat is quite bad.
All right, yeah.
I don't really like that change.
Do you know what for me? Boydie, can you guess what mine is?
No.
It's the bloody reduction in inventory on the price tag.
I haven't really noticed
I hate that. I hate that, mate.
I'm noticing it at the moment, trying to build a base. I can't fit stacks of planks in my backpack anymore. So it's literally go out, cut down a few trees, and then walk back with 10 or run back with 10 planks, and then run back out, get another 10 planks and come back. It's very time consuming. Like if base building wasn't bad enough before, it's terrible now. You've got to find, I don't even know. I haven't worked out yet if they fit in the mountain backpack. I know they fit in the field backpacks.
No, that's reduced as well, the mountain backpack.
Yeah, but you can still fit planks in the field backpack. I just don't know whether they fit in the mountain backpack. If anyone in chat knows, but otherwise, it's painful. It's like I don't mind it because realistically, you couldn't fit a pile of planks inside a backpack. But with base building as bad as base building is, they've just made it even more of a chore to build a base. That it's probably going to get raided easily.
Well, I was expecting, the scientific briefcase, right? I was expecting when I first got my hands on that because the inventory size has massively reduced, has been reduced, that it would be too big to fit in any inventory. That's what I was expecting to see. Luckily, it's not. It does fit in most bags. So, all good.
That's
but
strange little change.
Yeah. But
I don't know. What do you feel about the briefcases? You like those?
Love it. I love the mechanic. I love the mechanic. Lockable containers.
Do you know what, though? Oh, has anyone worked out? Can you actually bury that?
I think you can.
I haven't tried to bury that yet. I need to try that.
I'm assuming
can you?
I'm sure Scale Speeder will know.
Yeah, Scale. Have you tried to bury that yet? Let us know in the chat, mate. I think that would be pretty good. That's got a half decent amount of storage in it.
He just said 2 minutes. We'll check. He hasn't checked. That's a very, very interesting point.
Get on there, mate. Get on there and have a look.
Check.
Oh, he hasn't tried either. I'll have a little try on that. I'm sure by the time we've done this podcast, there'll be an answer to that. But I do. I love the self-contained water containers that you find in there. The snow containers. Yeah, filler, whatever the bloody called. I can't remember what it's called. I'm having a brain fart.
Michael, Jesus.
Bury an ex-wife. You ought to be able to bury a briefcase. Oh, fucking boy. Love it.
That Scalspeed hasn't tried yet either. He just said, Codger's saying, yes, you can bury it and lock it. I know he found one. He's playing with me on the Sergeant Pepper server here in Australia. But, yeah. Interesting. I love that mechanic, Rav, that it's lockable containers, but you've got to use a key. So, there's that risk to, where do you put those keys to protect that loot? And I'm certain, that's a new mechanic that's in the game now. So modders are going to be able to have fun with that with their own storage items. I know you could put code locks on some stuff beforehand, but this is a more realistic style thing.
Well, I mean, the thing with that is, right, this is quite funny. I think I said this last week, but it's worth revisiting briefly. It's funny as hell. I found it funny anyway, right? So what you're starting to see is when the event comes in, people are running up, opening the briefcase, taking everything out of it, putting it back, locking it, and pissing off, right? So there's so many times now I've got the briefcase and there's been nothing in it. I think that's funny as hell. They're brilliant for bloody camping as well, for sniping as well. That's great.
Foxy's just raised a good point there that I hadn't considered, that the key is just one key and it opens all briefcases. So I just asked in chat if anyone knows if the keys are and or can be unique to each container. Because if it's only one style of key, yeah,
that'd be good.
If you've got like coloured ones, or you could assign a key to a container.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Yeah. Hold on, he says you can code different keys in. Oh yeah, modded maps you can. Of course you can. Yeah, things.
Okay.
Yeah. But not on official.
Codgers. You're ruining your name, mate. You're meant to be an old codger. You're not meant to know this shit.
He's fucking he's been practicing this all week, hasn't he? Good lad.
But yeah, no. Otherwise, it's been a big hit for me. Rav, I've really enjoyed it. Enjoyed some of the changes, and it's good to see the community settled down again now, and we're just back into just enjoying it for what it is. Now, there was something I wanted to discuss, and I'm interested in it as a concept. So I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. We're going to see how my Aussie internet goes, Cobra.
Oh, you're going to try and put something up, are you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Might kick us both out here. I played official Rust. Oh, not Rust.
No. It's what he says at the beginning.
Oh.
Hello, boys. 2 years ago, Blueprint, Frost, H-Tune, and I went head-to-head as solos on the same official server. But a lot has changed since then. Rust has evolved, and so have we. Each of us solos with unique playstyles, the question remains who would end out on top and who would fall behind. There's only one way to find out. It's time we go again. How we doing, fellas?
Doing,
doing good.
Hey, man. Wait, also, Blueprint said he's going to make a server and he didn't.
Damn.
What a fucking liar. I'm going to make it.
So you get the drift of what they're doing there.
Yeah.
I would love to see something like that done with a DayZ server, Rav. Get maybe 10 or so people, pick a server, keep it very secret squirrel amongst yourselves, and go and join with randoms. So on a live server, and just try as best as possible not to team up, and just to maybe you just do it as a bunch of squads. You run with your boys. 3 or 4 of you. Have it all kind of in good spirits, in good fun. But just imagine being one of the people who finds out you're running on a server with the likes of yourself, Rav, and Cobra, and maybe JLK, and some of the really, really, really big name guys. What do you mean, Alex? Well, delete that out of my video ideas.
Well, no,
this is what I'm talking about.
On a similar concept at the moment. Not exactly the same, but it's taken from a Rust video. Me and Division.
Yep.
Doing a video where we're on the same server and our bases are like back to back. So they're attached, our bases, and then we're both trying to gear up, and the goal is to raid one another.
Yeah.
Whoever does it first wins. Excellent. It was a Rust video. That's where I got the idea from.
But I've been thoroughly enjoying it because they're all doing it. I don't know whether they've been streaming any of it. I think streaming it would probably be suicide because you'd just be advertising it to everyone. But for the more YouTube-focused content creators, I really think that there is an amazing content idea there. Get a bunch of people together who, for the most part, they all get along and they've got good, camaraderie between them, and they just want to do it for the fun, for the shits and the giggles. A bit of a competitive sort of thing as well, though. And they go for as long as they can, and just all release the videos around the same time. Right? We love to say this here, Rav, but a rising tide lifts all boats. But I've been going and I've subbed to people who I don't watch to find out what their experience was on this wipe for that server, and I would love to see that. Even if it was only for a week or so. But when a server goes live, goes fresh, jump in there, find one that you're all happy to play on, and just see what happens. Organic. You don't get much more organic than that.
Did you? I forgot what the server was called, but there was a DayZ server in the alpha version of the game made by 3 YouTubers at the time. I don't think any of them are still around.
The Red Zone?
Was it the Red Zone? They all had a faction each.
Oh.
They all had a faction each. One of them was called G Crew. That's what I remember. I can't remember the other ones, but they all had a faction or a clan, and they were all like fighting against each other. And they were all led by a YouTuber who was making a video on it, kind of thing. Similar concept. I wish I knew the server was great. I played on it years ago. I'll see if I can find this.
That one doesn't ring a bell with me. The closest I can think of is, there was the Village, which we talk about all the time. Oh, damn. It was a DayZ Underground, because that was the very first ever community server. And that had a lot of factions on it, some of them that were, YouTubers and things like that. Cool. Speaking of that, did you see Mr. Moon was streaming some DayZ yesterday?
Was he?
Yeah. Foxy shared it in chat. It was so good to see. He was playing with an Aussie guy by the name of Vertigo, who I think is more known for his Rust sort of content, but he does a lot in the survival genre, and fuck, it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Even after all these years, Mr. Moon still knows his shit. He still remembers how to do the basics, and kept on harping on about how he was a DayZ veteran. It was quite funny. He's an absolute legend.
Bliskin Brothers, mate. I love that.
Yep.
Do you remember that? So good, wasn't it?
And the poor farmer's boy, George, him and Chow doing the traders in it was just absolutely amazing stuff. But it's been so good seeing a lot of those old names, Rav, that we remember from when we first started watching and playing DayZ, coming back and realizing the game has come so far. I don't blame them for going elsewhere and playing other stuff. Do you, Rav?
I saw Deadly Slob, I think, playing it the other day.
And he put a video out and he said that it's brilliant. He's genuinely impressed with how far it's come. And I think it's great that some of these people have gone off and they built a bigger name for themselves. Like, look at how big Deadly is playing Tarkov now. And with him coming back and playing DayZ, it's only good for DayZ because it's still got this reputation among some people. I'm certain you guys get it. That is that game still broken? Is it still shit? Yeah, it's still got its bugs, but show me a game that does it. It's still the best hardcore survival game out there.
Without
and we're getting all these fresh eyes, new peak player counts, and the amount of people streaming at Rav is insane, isn't it?
I'm not really too in touch with the streaming side.
Well, what's your views been like with more people creating content for it?
There's loads of people creating content. It's crazy.
Sorry?
There's so many sort of mid-sized content creators. It's really nice to see.
Oh yeah, there's loads in there.
I'm still trying to find the server that I was on about, but I can't, so I'll have to give up. I'm
surprised no one in chat has
it was a long time ago.
Yeah, Foxy remembers a lot of that stuff though. I'm surprised he hasn't said anything about it. But I know there was the Red Zone.
I think it was
that was
before the Red Zone. Oh no, maybe not. I might have an old video on my channel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But no, I would love to see something like that, whether it be an annual event or just something, but get a bit more happening with, a bunch of people getting together and making content on a live server Like I said, I don't think it'll work for streamers, but for the people who want to make good YouTube content, which is there's a lot of people who do it just for the YouTubes. I think it could be great. Not knowing what the other guys are doing or what that other group is doing and where they are, and having to work it out organically in game and. But you'd need to find a good community server because you want to have some admins watching over it to make sure there's no hanky-panky. I just think it could be a very, very fruitful endeavor for those who do it.
It was called the Crossroads.
The Crossroads? No, don't recall.
I don't know that. No, I've not heard of that.
And who were the creators?
It was It's Nata HD,
Mm-hmm.
Q Crew, and there was another one. They don't make videos anymore, but they were quite big back then.
Yep.
Maybe like 10,000 subs each, which was a lot. And that time. But yeah, DayZ Crossroads.
Oh yeah.
If anyone
look, I've shared the idea, and if anyone's got any ideas on how to make it happen, would be happy to do what we can to help facilitate it, and put people in contact with each other and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it could be great, Cobra. What do you reckon?
There's always an issue with stuff like that. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of things can go wrong. You've got
go big or go home. Don't be a fucking whinging, moaning, pommy bastard.
It's just one of them things, mate. If you're all on push to talk, mate, who talks? It's 10 of you. It's a pain in the ass. But no, I mean, I get it. I mean, it'd be an interesting one. I can't see 10 people open up 10 tabs just to watch it get lost. Maybe one or two, I suppose. But I could see. It'd be an interesting. I don't think there'd be a longevity type moment in it. I think there'd be like a couple of videos would be quite interesting on it, but with a load of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's something.
Right. Look at the hype around Lights Out last year. Did you take part in that, Rav?
No, I didn't. I've played some of the True Colours events, not like Lights Out.
It's an area I think that is very underexplored. Is events in DayZ. It was the game that kind of started the hype around big events with the Hunger Games and then the Survivor Games all those years ago. Twitch was just kind of like, wow, that's insane. These people watching a bunch of people get together. And with the tools that are out there now, there's a great scope for it. And, we've got some great events, but they're usually only short events. It'd be good to see something a bit longer. And that's one of the things I liked about Lights Out. I've been trying to get Sir Serpiente on to talk about it. But it was this bigger, longer vision for an event that went over a few days. And, you're going to have admin issues and all the rest of it. You get that with everything. Trying to herd cats is always difficult, as my mate Vidge says. But, go big or go home. Now, I have got to make sure that I do not forget to do that this year because I got a message from my boy iRody, and he said it's a personal concern, the independent DayZ event calendar, folks. I forgot to do it last year, but this one is actually quite an important one. And the event that Rody wants us to shout out is the Lights Out charity event for Spain. Well, here we go. I was just talking about Sir Serpiente. So we all saw the dramatic reports from the terrible floods in Spain. Sir Serpiente is going to host a DayZ event next Saturday to help those affected by the Dana storm, DANA. It starts with a 6-hour PvP part, followed by 4 hours of no respawns. The map is Demolsk. Please join the event, watch the streams, donate some money if you can afford it, and share the info. Every little step helps. Thank you. I think that's a fantastic event. Were either of you two aware of that?
No, I was literally wanting to plan my own charity event soon, so it's nice to see that people are doing the same thing.
It might be a nice one.
If someone sends me a link to that, I'll probably play that.
Rody, have you got a link for where people can go if they want to register to either play or donate and things like that? I might send Sir Serpiente a message. Cobra just said he's struggling with his voice. He's getting old, folks. He smoked too many darts back in the day, or fags, as the Poms like to call them.
I don't swear. I'm struggling to. I've got this horrible. I can't shift it from my throat. You know, it's that tickly thing in your throat. I'm really struggling, mate. Mate, I'm gonna have to shoot off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot off. I'm gonna have to go and get.
Well, we are pretty much done then, mate. Was there anything you wanted to shout out before you left?
Me, I'm gonna struggle to get through it now, mate. No, I'm good this week.
Bless Cobra with his man flu. He's dying, folks. Can we all have a F's in chat for Cobra?
Shit.
The Discord link is in the calendar Discord. Let me grab it real quick. Yep. It's a great initiative what iRate is doing with that, folks. And if you share that with me, mate, I'll make sure I tweet that out from the account as well. Trying to do all we can for promoting what he's doing there. It's a great initiative, and yeah, he's a legend. Rav, is there anything you would like to shout out this week, mate?
No. All my projects are top secret, unfortunately.
All your what projects are what top secret?
Secret, yeah.
Yep. Well, what about something on a personal level? Something you'd like to raise awareness of?
I can never come up with anything when people put me on.
You've actually gotten a lot more talkative. I remember the first time we had you on, you were still very reticent about.
I was probably hungover. If I was at uni, I was probably hungover.
Have you finished uni now?
Yeah, I graduated in the summer.
What did you do your degree in again?
Like events, production, and management.
Oh, brother, you're going to become my lover. I've got lots and lots of ideas, and I just need someone who's smarter than me to help me with them. And yeah,
you can't say I was the best student, mate. So. Just about pass.
I don't understand how anyone could want to finish high school and then go and do more years of study. My son did; he just graduated his degree as well. But yeah,
fun, man, best years of your life.
Oh, fuck. Halos. Thank you so much for the raid, buddy. I really appreciate it, mate. We're sadly almost getting ready to wrap up, folks, because Cobra is dying of man flu / COVID / bird flu / monkeypox, whatever. So we've F's in chat for the poor old Cobra. But yeah, Foxy's saying that's why your events are so good, Rav.
They're all right. I might bring them back. Mate.
You need to, mate. We need more diverse events because it's a hard gig. A lot of people don't realise how, even with the admin tools that you've got available now, compared to what we used to have to do back in the day prior to them to organise an event, it's still a lot of time and effort goes into organising and herding the cats, isn't it, mate?
Right. Yeah, it's hard. It's not hard, but a lot of stuff can go wrong.
Yep. But, mate, if you're doing anything, always let us know. We'll do anything we can to help you out with what we can do. I want to shout out my boy Stimpy. I watched his latest video. Oh, my God, it was some funny shit. You watched it too, Rav?
I just watched it, yeah.
Oh, my God, the mother and the son. Oh.
That was funny.
And how quickly that other guy was on board, whether he knew it was Stimpy or not. But I've got to give it.
Problem getting recognised.
She's an underrated legend. She handled that very well. I think a lot of people would have gone, mate, you're sick. You need to be reported. She understood it was just shit posting and trolling on the internet. And yeah, like King Alex said, it's a certified Stimpy classic. And that poor guy at the end with the, you fucking what, mate? I'm not going to ruin it for everyone, but it was so good to see as well, because he put a post out. I think it was a community post on his tab or on Twitter. But he said, he was struggling with ideas and all the rest of it. But I think he was just going through a bit of a slump mentally, like a lot of us go through when it comes to content for DayZ, Rav, where, shit, man, I've done almost everything. And then you get an idea or something happens, and the content, for someone like him, the content just kind of happens. He goes in just being himself. And yeah, it was absolutely gold to watch, wasn't it, Rav?
It's a good video. All of his videos. I watch them all.
Yeah. I do feel for him though, like especially being Australian, and yeah, we've got a lot of servers.
Wouldn't wish it on anyone, mate.
Fuck you. It's mate. I've said it many a time. I wish I could pick us up and just plonk us over in a better time zone to be with the rest of all you English speaking folks, so we could, how he's not banned from his thumbnails. He got lectured on his thumbnails in that video, folks. It was so funny, and he treated it with the disdain that it deserved, basically accusing him of all his audience as 13-year-olds, and everyone in the comments going, isn't it hilarious that he has more 65-plus-year-olds watching him than he does 13 to 17-year-olds? But yeah, it was awesome to see. But folks, I think we're going to call it there because our boy Cobra's gone. Rav, thank you so much, mate. It's been great watching you grow and grow and grow. And yeah, I'll definitely reach out about, any events you've got and some ideas and things like that, because they're just fun. They just add some interesting sort of events, and the hard part is trying to work out ways to include the average punters in them. I saw that with the creator event. A lot of people said, it would have been nice if some average punters could have got in and access, and it was like, bro,
there was a bit of drama around that, wasn't there?
You couldn't even trust some of the content creators not to leak stuff, could you? What do you think is going to happen if you start letting in average punters? They have no idea who they are, and there's no real threat to them if they were to get in trouble for it.
Yeah. I still don't agree with the modern thing. Maybe
you don't agree with what? Sorry,
not letting the modders in. I had the files open day one. Like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're a modder or not.
If you know how, you can. Yeah, it was again communication, and I would have even just liked to have seen some sort of workshop with the modders to talk about the changes and things like that, which also might have staved off the issues with the infamous inanimate concrete block.
I don't really know much about that.
It's the one that caused all the issues for Deer Isle and that. The way they changed the way the block was made behind the scenes and stuff like that, and it just threw everything off. But we've talked about that. I don't want to cover that again. But probably should have kept that quiet, Rav. But no, mate, all the best. Keep on keeping on. And folks, we will see you same time, same channel as always next week for the DayZ Podcast. The guest next week is, let me just check, should have had this sorted. Always Streams. Looking forward to that one. Have you watched any of his videos, mate?
I've seen his TikToks.
He's a funny fuck. He's funny,
he's
isn't he?
Very good on TikTok, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very dry humor. I love it. Some of the one-liners he puts in. Hey,
some of the stuff's insane. Some of the stuff he says is insane. I'm surprised he gets
Yes. I love that edgy humor, mate. That's my kind of humor. But yeah, all the best, everyone, and we will see you next week. Ciao for now.
All right, cheers.